Hi, everyone. Welcome to November. Can you believe November already? Crazy, crazy. This month, our theme is an attitude of gratitude. You heard from Linda. It's actually one of my most favorite spiritual practices, gratitude. So I love talking about this subject. I'm excited to talk about this subject. And you heard my talk title, the F word, forgiveness. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is one of those things can be challenging for many of us, including myself. I figured we need to start there. So we're going to start with the harder stuff, and we're going to weave our way through the month with lots of joyful ways of being grateful that can truly change your life. So forgiveness is to cease to feel resentment against the offender. Forgive one's enemies or forgive yourself. To give up resentment. How do you know you need to forgive? Because a lot of us do forgiveness work, and then a year down the line or a couple years down the line, it comes back, right? That thing that happened, it's like pops in your head, and you're like, I thought I got rid of you, and here it is. You know you need to forgive when you continually ruminate over an event. It comes back over and over. It can look like an inability to stop thinking about what caused the negative emotion. And it could be a sign that that resentment is building up rather than disappearing. Another way that you might know that you need to forgive is that you keep choosing to be wounded rather than choosing to be wise. Yeah, take a breath on that one. And I'm not trying to make anyone in this room wrong, but it happens. It just happens. The next way you might know you need to forgive is you feel fearful. This can also look like a compulsion to stay away from certain events, certain people, certain situations. There might be some family event you're very excited about, maybe a wedding or a birth, but yet there's someone in that room you don't want to deal with, and your compulsion is to stay away, and it's taken away from the joy that you can feel with your family. Another way to know that you need to forgive is that you just have all these feelings of remorse or regret. It can be especially prevalent in people experiencing self-resentment more intensely. And I know we all go through that. There's times in our life that we're mad at ourselves that we did something the way we did it, or we didn't do something when we had the opportunity. The next way you might know that you need to forgive is there's this consistent and underlying tension. You're not really sure what it is, but it's there. Sometimes it can be difficult to address or confront another person that you've had a challenge with. And then this can manifest in passive-aggressive behavior. Now, believe me, I have been around people that are very passive-aggressive, and I've had my own moments of passive-aggressive. I don't think anyone can bypass that. But if we can be aware of it, that's the thing. The last thing I'm going to give you is You might need to forgive if you're making sure that you forget. So, those of us that are older in the room, I know you want to embrace your forgetfulness because then you don't have to forgive, right? Because you forgot. But what I want to say about forgiveness is not forgetting. If you forgive and you forget, then you keep bumping in the same thing that you have to forgive over and over again. We don't want to do that. Forgiveness doesn't mean that something didn't happen. Forgiveness doesn't mean that the other person's behavior was okay. Forgiveness doesn't mean that there's certain things that happen in this world that we're just going to be okay with. That's not what forgiveness is. So, I'm going to give you some ways to forgive yourself and others. But before I do that, I'm just going to let you know why I got my foot on this stool here. And I'm going to weave it into these ways of forgiving because there's the biggest thing that we all need to do is forgive ourselves. Because if we run around forgiving everyone else, but we don't forgive what's here, then that's not the work that we're here to do. So, yes, and I heard your joke last week about instead of a bug bite, I was nursing a Bud Light. That's a good one, Rick. So yes, it started with like a coin-size red bug bite on the top of my foot. And I just ignored it. It didn't hurt. I thought, oh, something got me. And I kept going. And Brenda and I had a couple of vacations planned, and we were in Zion, and we were all over the place. And I started noticing it was changing, the bug bite. It seemed to be like getting bigger. And then we went on this other excursion where we did bike riding and we played pickleball and we had all this fun. And at the end of the day, I would take off my shoe and my foot would be throbbing. It was getting very, very painful. So when I came back, I went to the emergency room. So there's a couple forgiveness pieces in here. One is that the care I got in the emergency room wasn't so good. It happens sometimes, right? I don't know what was going on with this doctor, besides he was very busy and there were people that were more critical than I was, and the whole room, the emergency room was, all the beds were busy and there were all kind of things going on. What I know is that I didn't get the care and attention that I needed, that I wanted. So I went to the emergency room and they lanced it and did all these things to it without giving me any pain meds, and it was tough. Thankfully, Bren was there so that I could squeeze her hand. I'm surprised she still has a hand every time it hurt. So I got through that. And then I got to come back because obviously it wasn't taken care of properly. And I recognized I could feel the pain. It got worse instead of better. One of the places that I went is to blame myself. Anyone ever have that happen? When a health thing is going on? What was I thinking? What was I doing? Why did I eat that? Why did I do that? Blah, 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 blah. Those things that we do to ourselves. So I went there. Then I went to the blame of this doctor and said, what the heck? Why didn't he treat me properly? Because the next time I went into the ER, it was 100% different experience. I had the proper care. I had podiatrist resident who looked like my nephew. I was so thankful. And he was so lovely. Great bedside manner. Made sure that he gave me the proper meds and everything and took care of me with such love and attention. And I know for myself that if I hold on to a resentment for doctors, and I know that I actually have some of this in my lifetime anyway, I've had some great doctors and I've had some really challenging doctors that had a different agenda. And so I get to work on my experiences from the past through this experience now. That's part of the silver lining. But that's what I want to talk about. How do we forgive when these things happen? The first thing is, do not repress your feelings. If you're pissed off and angry, if you're sad and challenged and you need to cry, you got to let that stuff happen. You have to let those feelings out. This is how I describe it. If you actually let yourself be mad, if you let yourself yell, if you let yourself cry, those feelings of resentment will let go of you. Then you don't have to let go of it, and you can move on. The next thing that you can do is, if you saw yourself in my earlier list of there's something to forgive there, then maybe you need to work with a practitioner or a mental health professional. See, I do believe we can do these things on our own, and sometimes we need extra help. Linda mentioned it. Us practitioners have practitioners. I've had a practitioner since before I became a practitioner. Right now I have 2 practitioners. It's what works for me. So these things that are going on, I have my own awareness without even talking to my practitioner. But you bet I'm going to talk about this incident, this experience with my practitioner, and make sure that I harvest all the wisdom there is to get out of this. Because I know the universe is for me, which we'll talk about later on in the month. The next thing on how to forgive is to find compassion. This forgiveness story that I'm telling you is very, very current, but I've had past forgiveness stories where I've had challenges with family members and babysitters and things like that that really didn't treat me right as a youngster. And I found compassion in a way of bringing me to forgiveness by knowing that they were programmed by their upbringing. That their fathers and grandfathers, this is how they treated people, women. This is what they did, and they carried it on, and they carried it on, and they carried it on, and it ended up falling on my shoulders. The way I could forgive is knowing that that's all he knew. So I can find compassion in that doctor's situation. He told me, I'm going to be back in a while because there's, a more critical patient over down the hall. And I said, okay, maybe he was feeling unsure of himself with whatever was going on. I don't know. He seemed sure of himself with me, but maybe he shouldn't have been. Right? So I just need to find my compassion for that person. And then first and foremost, as I mentioned, we must forgive ourselves. In my years on this planet, even when people have said and done things to me, about me, that were not loving, not kind, not okay, I can still find ways to blame myself. I think we all know that, have felt that. It can be the most mundane thing that somehow we can say, well, I must have brought that on myself. We've got to forgive ourselves, you guys. It's the first thing that we must do if we want to live these attitudes of gratitude. If we want to glean the so many magnificent gifts of being in gratitude every day, of saying thank you 100 times a day, 1,000 times a day. The first thing we have to do is forgive ourselves. Raj, can you help me out? Play that video. Cue it up. I brought something special for you guys today. It's very dated. It's agape. It's a song called I Forgive Me by Tim McAfee Lewis and Michael Bernard Beckwith. Go ahead. Either watch it or close your eyes and listen to it.
I was just really dealing with some stuff.
This song was written one morning as Reverend Michael was speaking.
When Reverend Michael started talking about forgiveness.
Forgiveness. He talked about a personal experience around forgiveness. And as
when he said, I forgive me.
As he spoke those words,
I remember going to the piano right then and there.
That flowed through him.
And those words from his sermon,
this song rose up in me.
They just rose up.
And it came out as this.
In a song.
I'm tired of the guilt that brings me pain. Now is the time for me to let go of the shame past behind me. I see anew. Yes, I'm ready for my change. Now I'm ready, oh Lord, ready for my
And it just simply came out, I forgive me.
I forgive, I forgive, I forgive everything. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. Surrender. I surrender. Lord, I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive. Come on, say that for me. I forgive me. I forgive everything that I've been holding. Yes. I surrender. The Lord, I surrender. I'm ready for my change. Yes, I am. I'm ready for my change. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Come on. Do that for me again. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything.
Why? Because I'm ready for my change.
I'm ready for my change. Yes, I am. I'm ready for. Come on. Let's do that again. Hey, forgive me.
everything that I've been holding on to. All my stuff, all my years, all my weeks, all my days of not feeling good enough, not being smart enough, not being kind enough, not being loving enough. I let go.
Yes, I am. Come on, take it up for me. Come on, take it up for me. Come on, take it up. Forgive me.
It's one of the songs that captures the soul of agape. Just really getting to the place where we just forgive ourselves. And then in that capacity to forgive ourselves, we also have the capacity to forgive others.
Thank you for indulging me. I am sure that I was at Agape for that recording, and there wasn't a dry eye in the room. And when I walked away, I realized how many things that I was holding on to that I just wanted to let go of and be ready for my change. And it's something that isn't a one-off. We don't forgive ourselves once. It's something that we have to continually do time after time after time. Because life, what do I say? Life is lifing. There's always situations that we get to look at it and say, no, I showed up like this and I wish I had showed up like that. And I forgive me. So, I'm going to actually end with something that I'm really encouraged, I'm inspired, I'm hopeful about, and that is our election on Tuesday. First of all, vote. Get out there and vote. If you haven't done it already, get out there and vote. But we've been doing this 100-day consciousness around our election. Tomorrow is day 100. I'm going to kind of miss the calls. It's kind of like an alarm at 8 a.m. every day. Sometimes it goes to voicemail, and sometimes I listen to it live. But this comes from the Science of Mind magazine from October, and it's on page 23. And I want you guys to get involved with this. So I'm going to say a line, and you're going to repeat it after me. We affirm that the United States and its elected leaders are guided by, affirm that the United States and its elected leaders are guided by wisdom, compassion, and integrity in all decisions and actions. Wisdom, compassion, and integrity in all decisions and actions. Okay, really raise the roof with this, you guys. We got to bring it now. We envision a nation where justice and equality prevail. We envision a nation where justice and equality prevail, and where every voice is heard and respected. And where every voice is heard and respected. We affirm that our leaders are inspired to work together harmoniously for the greater good. We affirm that our leaders are inspired to work together harmoniously for the greater good, fostering unity and understanding amongst all people. Fostering unity and understanding amongst all people. And so it is. All right, let's pray. You know me, I'm always starting with gratitude. And I'm grateful for Science of Mind and all the writers of these wonderful affirmations. I am grateful for this chilly day and for November being our month of gratitude. I'm grateful for forgiveness. I'm grateful for self-forgiveness. I am grateful to know there is only one power, one presence, one love, whether you call it God, Mother, Father, Light, Allah, Jehovah, Hashem, the Way, the Force, Heart, the Divine Matrix. No matter what you call it, it's everywhere. It's in everything. It's in the raindrops, the snowflakes, the mountains, the trees as they lose their leaves. It's on every mountaintop and every ocean floor and every beach and every desert. It's in every element of this beautiful Mother Gaia that we live upon. It's also in every situation, every challenge, every joy. It's simply everywhere, all the time, every moment of every day. And I know, since that is true with the capital T, that I am one and the same with the One. I can never be separate because it's always present in my life. And I know this same truth for everybody within earshot of this prayer, whether online, listening to it now, or listening to it later, or the beautiful souls in this room, our community, our loved ones. We are one and the same. We are always unified with this power presence. We can never not. Because it is who we are. We are love. We are light. We are energy. We are God, Goddess in form, getting to express itself through our lives, through our words, through our music, through our compassion, through our gifts, through all that we do. So knowing that, I claim and know in this instant that everybody that watched and listened to this service leaves the room with a healed heart of forgiveness. Most of all, forgiveness for themselves. And that forgiveness allows them to live a grateful life. So we get to be grateful for this election coming up. We get to be grateful for the opportunity to vote and make our voices heard. So I know it's on our hearts and minds. And we hold that tightly, closely, knowing that the oneness, God, Spirit, whatever you call it, wants nothing but the best for our nation, for this planet, for this world, and for ourselves in our own lives, in our families, in our finances, in our health, in our wholeness, and our recovery, in our knowingness that we are one and the same with the one, and we can never be broken, that we have everything that we need, all resources met every moment of every day. So for this, I am grateful for answered prayer. I am grateful before we started praying, the answer was already yes, yes, yes. Just open your eyes, your inner eyes, and see all the blessings, the abundance, the opportunities, the love that exists right here and right now, in this room or wherever you sit. So I release this prayer into the law, knowing that it's already done. As we let it go, we let the law do what it does. It always works 100% of the time. So as we release it, we say together, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.